I promise you it's worth it because the next session coming up is super interesting. And it's actually one of the sectors we can expect a lot of potential for change in the next years, because haven't we been speaking in this industry for so many years, in every panel, in every article? Everyone is talking about the seamless trip experience and seamless travel and end-to-end seamless booking experience when you book your travel. Well, there's a missing piece, right, if you look at it, because the hotel world is quite well organized. We have the tour operators working all quite nicely. But if you look at the ground and sea transportation, speaking of the last mile or getting into like B and C destination, that's still a pain, I'd say. We all know that experience. We get somewhere, we get off the plane, and then it's the question, okay, how do I get from here? So in the next session, I have an absolute powerhouse from this sector coming here, sharing with you the 10 key insights shaping the future of ground and sea transportation 2025. It's a true innovator in the travel tech space. Please welcome with me on stage the co-founder and CEO of Travelier is Noam Toister. Noam, the stage is yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Can hear me well? Great. Let's start. It's great to see you. I'm Noam. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Travelier. Travelier is a ground and sea transportation booking platform. We basically let travelers book buses, ferries, trains, transfers around the world, anything that is intercity. We are a group of 5 OTAs, and we are the biggest aggregator in the world today for this. Now, you are from the travel industry. I want to start with a small survey. How many commercial airports are in the world, do you think? Let's engage. Who thinks it's 1,000? Airports? Nobody. You think? OK. OK, you can't hear me. All right. Who thinks it's 5,000 airports in the world? 2, 3. OK. Who thinks that 10,000 airports, commercial airports in the world? More people. Who thinks there's 25,000 commercial? OK. So very bad answers. You're supposed to know this. There is only 5,000 commercial airports in the world today. And if you're traveling, it all starts with the flight, right? But the flights can only get you so far. Flights will get you to 5,000 destinations. They will get you to some of the most popular, famous destinations in the world. You can get to the Big Ben. You can get to Eiffel Tower, Sydney, Opera House. But it will not get you further. And it creates a small problem. Everybody is going to where they can go, to these 5,000 destinations, and over-tourism is a real problem that is impacting cities today. It is a problem, and cities are trying to strategize around how we disperse tourists to different regions, how we make less tourists come to our cities. So when you think about it, some of the most breathtaking, amazing places in the world are actually really further away from the airports. Think about islands in Thailand, about the Machu Picchu, think about the Himalayas, right? And I want to kind of challenge you to think about your best travel experience. Where was it? And if anybody is going to tell me it was in the Big Ben, I think you're probably lying. But the best experiences are further away. And just another way of thinking about it, when you look at the experiences platforms, Get Your Guide has 12,000 cities mapped in their system. TripAdvisor has, they're probably mapping the world a little differently, but they have 136,000 destinations. So think about it compared to 5,000 airports. People are getting much further away when they want to experience things. So the world is really off the beaten track. The amazing places are further away. And this leads us really to ground and sea transportation. So let's talk about ground and sea transportation. We talked about 5,000 airports. We at Travelier have 170,000 stations mapped around the world. And we do not cover all the world. Our competitors have more regions, more stations. So you can get to much further destinations when you think about ground and sea transportation. Now, it's clear that people need to get there. This is a big part of the travel experience. But still, when you think about ground and sea transportation, you don't know too much about it. It's not in the center stage, and there is no information about it. So this was the reason last year we partnered with Skift. And we commissioned Skift to actually research what the industry is like and what's the status of the industry. And Skift has a research company, and they do this independent researches. And this is what we found. I'm going to share some of the findings with you. Ground and sea transportation, we knew this is a huge market. It's a $198 billion market globally. It is bigger than short-term rental. It is bigger than car rentals. It is a huge market. And when we talk about this market, I just want to elaborate the point. We're not talking about city buses. We're not talking about metros. And we're not talking about Uber. We're talking about long-distance transportation. The market is made out of three main segments. Biggest segment is rail. After that, we have buses making a big chunk of the industry. And then ferries. And after that, we have smaller modes of transportation around the world. This sector is only 24% online. Now, it is basically 2 decades behind hotels and flights. And hotels and flights went online 2 decades ago. If you think about short-term rentals, it's 88% online, but this industry was really born as an online product. You weren't able to do short-term rentals before that. And I want to challenge you and think about an industry, a service that people need to book in advance, and it's still 76% of it is not bookable in advance. If you have such an industry, I will invest in your startup, right? So this is the big opportunity, and where the big opportunity lies, it's mostly in developing countries. So you're sitting here in Berlin, and you're probably thinking, I can book the Deutsche Bahn online, and the answer is definitely you can book it online, but the truth is that only 30% of you actually do it. So Europe is more advanced today, but still 30% of ground transportation is booked online. North America, similar situation. If you go to APAC, Southeast Asia, the opportunity is bigger. And if you go to Latin America and Africa and Middle East, the opportunity is even bigger to digitize this industry. And we're seeing this. So Travelier, part of what we do, we actually provide the software, the SaaS, for operators, bus companies, and ferry companies to go online. So we actually have visibility into all the bookings that are in the industry where we work. And we see that travelers are growing by 15% towards online. So the split between online platforms, whether it's us or competition, to offline platforms is growing at 15% year over year. And as a result, the operators are going online as well. So we're growing at an amazing pace in the number of companies that are working with us. We're actually adding 10 companies every day. 10 new transportation companies are being added to Travelier platforms every day. And we're not only adding these companies and selling them online, we're actually expanding their services. We're basically helping them to open new routes, provide more services. And I want to share with you a video, if you can play the video that we received from one of our partners a few weeks ago. Maybe the video will play. OK. Do you still hear me? 1 second. So this is a partner with us that works with us in Indonesia, and he sent us this video of him building a new ship. And he's building a new ship with capital partnership that we have with him. We actually help him with this. And he's building this to answer the demand that we're generating for him. So the answer, the truth is that we're not only bringing in more customers to online, we're actually expanding the pie. We're actually expanding the demand because we're making this available online. We're very proud of this, not only because we get more customers, but also because we help local businesses to grow. We help local communities to thrive. And this is really something that's a side impact of getting great business and helping customers and travelers move around the world. The market itself is growing at a faster pace than travel, right? So ground and sea transportation is growing by 4.9% year over year. This is being driven by sustainability trends, moving to further destinations, and so on. And the online to offline, as I mentioned, offline to online is growing at 15% online. So if you do add transportation to your products, you can expect to see that product growing at actually 20% year over year now. And the industry is really at a tipping point. And it means really 3 things. One is that geographically, there are more and more operators in more destinations that are going online. As I mentioned, we're adding operators, but our competitors are adding more in different destinations. Sorry, the second thing is there's consolidations. Like Booking and Expedia 20 years ago, the bigger players are now consolidating with the regional leaders. It makes sense. We're buying great companies in several regions, and our competitors are doing the same. This is the evolution of the industry. The third thing is that other platforms, overlapping platforms, either competing OTA or platforms that are overlapping with travel, are starting to get to transportation. So Google is launching a meta search like they have for hotels. For transportation, it's launched in Latin America. It's going to be rolled out in other countries in the next couple of months. Uber and Move It are now selling rail products, long-distance rail products in Europe. We are partnering with Booking Holdings. We work with Agoda, and we sell all the ground transportation of Agoda. Everybody's getting there, and I can tell you that there are some big partnerships that are coming up in the next few months that I can't tell you about, but you will definitely hear about it. Now, when I started the company, this is me with happier, more hair, less stress. 9 years ago, I was trying to get to the Philippines. I was in the Philippines. I tried to get to a very specific destination there, and I couldn't book the bus ticket, and that's how I started the company. But today, we're pretty close to a situation where you can book any ticket from anywhere to anywhere, and this is driven by a lot of technology investment. So we invested in the last few years millions of dollars, a lot of years of development into basically standardizing the entire industry and making it online accessible. So we've built 5 OTAs, obviously, but we also have built software to take bus operators, ferry operators online and help them to sell their products online, geographically mapping all the different stations in the world, which is a huge, huge heavy lifting. But today, I'm happy to say that you're able to connect with one API. You can get 15,000 operators that are connected to Travelier. You can get 5,000 routes that you can sell around the world that we offer in 122 countries. You get real-time ticketing. You get a lot of information. You can get real-time seating. What you expect from an online product, which was not available a few years ago. Last, maybe anecdote. So this is something that we just noticed recently. A month ago, I think Expedia issued a report, and they found that 63% of consumers say they are likely to visit detour destinations, right? Detour destinations being off the beaten track destinations, destinations that are less crowded, that are less popular, less well known. And this really aligns with the trends that we're seeing in the travel industry. And if you've been listening, then obviously these destinations don't have an airport, and you need to get there. So this is my 10 points to you. And if there's one thing that I want you to kind of remember, one takeaway is that if you're not adding ground and sea transportation to your offering, you're probably missing out on a huge opportunity today. So this is, feel free to talk to me if you like. You can reach out to me directly. And thank you very much for listening. And if we have time,
Yes, we do have time.
I talk quickly, so if you have questions or something.
Yeah, he's not only speaking fast, he's also moving fast in the industry. So I can just take his advice and talk to him about like integrating ground and sea transportation. No, we have room for questions.
If anybody has questions,
We have a microphone, so if anyone has a question or has a comment to add, please raise your hand. Don't be shy. Yeah, we welcome any questions and ideas here. So take the opportunity if you have some thoughts. If not, make sure to follow Noam on LinkedIn. That's a no-brainer. And also Travelier. You have very good content to follow. A lot of reports they share. I mean, they're really working on good content. And then I think you're here for the next days as well.
Yeah, I'm here for the next few days.
Yeah, wonderful. Great. And yeah, in terms of travel, what's your next travel destination after ITB? Or are you only working and not traveling?
New York, actually.
New York?
No, not off the beaten track.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
We have offices in Thailand and in Latin America, but definitely this time I have a different trip.
Right. Okay. Well, it's at least we're like absolutely thrilled you're here in Berlin with us for the next days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noam Toister, co-founder and CEO at Travelier. Make sure to follow them and connect afterwards. Thank you for the great talk.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a bit of time left, so I'd say we take a little break of like 2-3 minutes to also like for you to maybe relax a moment, get to know each other and sitting next to you, because that's also something we miss to do sometimes, right? We sit next to each other in a great session, but then we miss the opportunity to turn to the left and say, hi, how are you? Who are you? What are you doing here? What's your interests? Because isn't that the biggest opportunity of ITB Berlin, to connect with fellow industry professionals and maybe also learn a bit something outside of your own bubble that you usually work in. So I'm Leah Jordan. I'm your host here at the eTravel Track. Thank you for being here. And we have great sessions lined up for today. We will have a session coming next where we stick around mobility. We go into the trends of mobility. We have a great keynote speaker and a panel where we unpack what's happening in that space. And then after that, we will look into the vacation rental space, which is also a very interesting space to watch, as there's a lot of things happening, a lot of fragmentation which is being consolidated. We have a lot of technology innovation. And then after the break, we will transition at 2:30 into the ITB Hotel Tech Track, where we will only talk about hotels and technology. And there's also so much to cover, from AI to like operational efficiency up to use cases. And this time, I'm really excited about that we have really good use cases coming. So we have Louvre Hotel Groups and we have the Radisson Hotel Groups coming, showing their AI efforts that they're doing for quite some years already in their operations. We will have Adina Hotels showing their hotel laboratory where they test with real visitors how people best respond to technology innovation in a test hotel, which is super exciting. But we also have the Citizen CIO Mike Rawson coming, sharing how they actually innovated their own tech stack, how they exchanged their PMS system. He will give you quite some interesting Hi, Ramsey. That's a every year thing to do. I have to say hi to Ramsey when he comes in. We have to appreciate the people coming back to these sessions. Now, make sure to check the program, look at it, take some time, because it's worth it. Because also my colleagues from the board of experts, there's 4 stages, 17 tracks, so much content to choose from, and it's easy to miss something because it's just overwhelming in the first moment. So it's worth looking at it. But also everyone at home looking at this from the live stream, welcome to you as well. And I'd say, let me check the time. I think we can transition to the next session.